Hello, Pete here again, and welcome to the vlog. Now, today we're looking at a wonderful die set, and if you were to ask me what am I going to do for my Christmas cards this year, I think that this is it. This is Swirling Stars by Tim Holtz, and not only do you get this lovely central swirl, you also get this one, which I particularly like, and we're going to see it in action in a moment. But you also get these little stars, 7 stars all around, to put around the outside or the inside, or to cut separate stars. It's entirely up to you, and that's one of the things I love about it. It not only does it cut these gorgeous stars, but it is great for making apertures or for cutting stencils as well. Now let's take these away. We'll take these just to one side for a second, because I'm going to start with this one. Now I'll bring my machine in. This is my fold-away machine. Now, if you've not seen the fold-away before, it does exactly what the name suggests. It folds away. Even the handle clips out of the way. Pop it on your shelf. Absolutely perfect space saver, and a great machine to boot. It's got all that Big Shot technology in there. It is actually called the Big Shot fold-away. So we're going to take the handle down, open it up, and then I'm going to bring in my plates and this little piece of grey card. This is what I'm actually going to cut, and I want to cut an aperture, so I want to cut these stars through the card. I'll place that down, make my sandwich. So we're using the full platform with the thin die adapter, of course, into the machine and run it through. And even though this is quite detailed, I have every confidence that this is going to cut perfectly first time out. Now there we have it. Look at all those lovely little stars. Now you could pop those out. I could take my die brush or my tool, my pokey tool, but here's one that I popped out earlier, all ready to go, just to save you and I time. Now I'm going to add some colour to this. I'm actually going to add some white gesso, but I've also die cut a load of stars as well. So these are the three types of card that I've cut. I've used a dark grey, I've used this ruffle board or corrugated card, call it what you will, and this lovely non-shed glitter paper. I'll pop that off to one side, and I'll take my craft mat. Now this is gesso, white gesso. This is from Indigo Blue. It's my favorite gesso. It's really smooth, very opaque. I'll put my brayer there, and I'll take, remember those stars that we talked about earlier? Well, I've put them in a little envelope, and here they are. These were cut with the 7 separate little star dies. There they are, all in their glory there, and we're going to use those in a sec. But before I do, I'm just going to apply some gesso to this piece of grey, the one that we just cut. Now, I'll undo the top, and using my palette knife, I'll just put a little, I don't want too much, I don't want to go over the top with this. Let's put that there safely out of the way. And I want to spread it quite a bit. I don't want too much gesso on the roller. I want most of this gesso to be spread out there, because I don't want to make this white and opaque, and I'm just going to go across the stars like that. You can see it's imperfect, but in my book that is perfect. Also, I'm going to take a piece of corrugated card, and with this I want to start tearing away at it. So tear some of the base away there. That's lovely. Just up the side as well. There we are. This is one of the reasons that I've left my nails slightly longer, for tearing card, and also for getting the back off those 3D foam pads, and we'll see why that's so important in a little moment. Now let's run this over the corrugated card like that. Always start off quite light. Don't put too much of this gesso on. You can always, as I always say, you can always add more, but you can never take it away. There, that's good to go. Now before I do anything else, oh no, I'm getting ahead of myself, folks. Let's put those to one side and let's go back to our stars. Now, I want to take all of the corrugated stars and the grey ones as well. We'll leave the glitter ones to one side. So we want to apply the gesso to these as well. It gives them, it just takes the harshness and the flatness away. It makes them more dimensional and it gives them a kind of a homely, Christmassy, I'm thinking kind of Scandinavian style with this. That's the look that I'm going for. And I think we'll start with the corrugated card stars. And you can see that when you die cut these with thinlits, it flattens them out slightly. That is to be expected. And that's, again, it makes them better when it comes to accepting this lovely gesso. Now, I'm going to roll that over the top and back the other way. There we are, get a bit more on that one. That is perfect. Those stars are now gorgeous. Now let's get the grey ones in. It's a dark grey, quite a warm grey, I suppose. But we're just coming over the top. And those last two, there we are. So there's some colour, more colour on some, or more gesso rather, more gesso on some and less on others. That's absolutely fine. You're going for an imperfect look anyway. If you spend too much time, if you do it slowly, it becomes too contrived and it just doesn't look natural, to be perfectly honest. So, take my brayer to one side, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my walnut stain distressing. This will add a little contrast to the edges, and when you're working with different textures and when you're working with tones that are quite similar, having this bit of contrast makes all the difference. It helps everything stand out. But look, I'm just going on the edge like that. I'm not going too far in, so the difference is quite subtle there. Again, with the stars, what I want to do is, I'll just do a few of these for now. I won't do all of them. Let's pick that large one up there. I will just go around the edges, just almost kissing those edges. We're not going in too far. We're not inking the whole thing. We're just giving it that lovely bit of contrast that hopefully will make all the difference at the end. There we are. So there's one. I'll finish the rest and we'll be back in a jiffy. All the stars are inked and ready to go, and before we get on with creating a base card, I just want to apply a little gesso to this piece of twine. Now you'll notice this twine, I've actually rolled it into a kind of a spiral, and then I've used a couple of little staples just to keep it in place. But what I want to do is, again, with my gesso, so rolling it out so it's not too thick, I'm going to go over that string, and it does make quite a difference to the final effect. And that is now layered and ready to go on my card. So we'll pop these out of the way, and what I want to do next is apply some stamped detail to my base card. This is where hopefully the whole thing comes together. Now here's my base card, and I think if memory serves, this is 145 by 145 millimeters. So I'm using a stamp set designed by the wonderful people at Kaisercraft, and this stamp set is called Stargazer, which is a very famous song by a band called Rainbow. I'm not sure if any of you know them. Probably just me then. So we'll take our stamp, and I've used, this is Cloudy Sky. It stays on Cloudy Sky. It's a pale grey, and I'm going to place my stamped image there. There we are. And that's it. It's just a subtle background pattern. Now, take that stamp off, and this one we're going to add next. This is our sentiment. And for this, I'm going to be using Stays On Jet Black ink. So we'll take the card, and I think we'll place it around here. There we are, firmly in place, and the legend is, "You are my sun, my moon, and all of my stars." A quote by E.E. Cummings there. Now, we'll pop those out of the way. That's ready to go. I quite like that as it is, to be honest with you, but we are going to do something with it. We are indeed. Now, let's take our backgrounds from before, background layers. I'll apply a little gesso, I'm going gesso crazy, a little glue to the first one, and we'll have that somewhere about there. Now next I want to stick this one over the top, around there I think, but for this I'm going to use some 3D foam pads. Very often I favour the larger foam pads because I can cut them to any size I want. If I want a large one, I can use a large one. If I want a small one, I can just trim it to size. So I'll place that there, and one of these smaller ones down here, and finally there. And this is why I left my fingernails slightly longer for the video, to allow me to remove the backing. Seems to be working okay so far. There. Now, this background I want to put just about there, so it's covering the edge of my stamped image, and it's giving me a nice combination, a nice, you know what I mean, it's just balancing just right, for me anyway. But now, let's take my string. Now, this I want to get about there, and I'll take my Sizzix glue gun, and I'll pop that. Think about there. And next up, remember those lovely stars that we prepared earlier that I inked? Well, what we're going to do with these is I'm going to place them. Let's take this one here. Now, this one is going to be applied with, again, a little hot glue, and this is going to go over that part of the string which has the two staples in, so it's hiding my shoddy workmanship. Well, it wasn't too shoddy, I don't think. I like not to think so anyway. And the rest hopefully are going to be applied just with glue and 3D foam pads. So I want to get a balance. At this point, it's all about composition. It's about getting the right tones in the right places to get that balance. Now, of course, composition, balance, it's quite subjective. One man's meat and all that business. So you can see there I've taken one of the corrugated stars and I've put a silver one in the center. Next up, we'll take some glue and attach this to the top. Now, that to me has given it the balance I'm looking for, but I want a couple going on down here as well. So I've got this one with, this is going to poke out underneath the grey, I think. I'll slide that into place, maybe a bit lower. No, I think that's good. I think that's good. And then one more grey. Up that underneath there. Now, talking subjective, I think that there's too much weight on that side, so I prepared this one with a double-sided piece of double-sided sticky pad on the back. And you know what, leaving my nails long to pull the backs off, this was working up till now, wasn't it? Trust the last one to confound me. It's coming. There you go. I wouldn't let it beat me. I think I'm going to put this one here. And for me, that gives a lovely sense of balance. There's one last thing, however, that I want to do, and I want to attach some of these 3D foam pads. As is always the way, I can't find my tweezers. Aha! Here they are! Not 3D foam pads. Did I say 3D foam pads? I actually meant adhesive gems. I think I could probably be accused of using these a little bit too much, but they make such a difference. It's just that sort of that magic bullet, that thing that starts to set everything off, and it ties it all in, so it's kind of a pathway to here, pathway to the stars, if you will. And that is pretty much that. It's a very sort of Scandinavian looking make in both its colours and the use of white space. I like to think so anyway. And I have some. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, now Pete, when we started off, you had this lovely swirl die. Now, surely you've got to show us what that does. Well, here, as they say, is one I made earlier. Now, this one you can see the swirl leading all the way around there, and we've used some of those stars. So those stars that I die cut earlier, they didn't go to waste. There's my second cut, and finally, and all the stamps, incidentally, all of these stamps are from that set, that Stargazer set by Kaisercraft. And there is my third stamp, and the legend is, I love you to the moon and back. And that, my friends, is that. Now, if you've enjoyed this, there's plenty more inspiration on the website, so go to sizzix.co.uk, and now in the blogs as well. If you want to leave comments, if there's something you like, something you don't like, maybe something you want to see in the future, maybe it's a die that we haven't used yet, then just drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks very much for watching. See you again soon. Bye.